Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Ball. I am Colly. I'm joined this week by Big Paddy. Paddy, what's happening?
All right, that's the crack. Nearly into a final. Come on.
Oh, it's disgusting behaviour already. Not even 2 seconds. I tell you, 3 seconds into it and you're already fucking gloating about
Wow, back, baby. Wow, back.
Paddy, we're going to look at the results from the cup games during the week. Unfortunately, Chelsea aren't in any cups, so unless
I have plenty to talk about. You're all right.
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll be listening to you for 90% of this podcast. So yeah, we'll look at them. We'll look at a couple of transfers that may be going. It's transfer deadline day, Paddy, and
I can't say I'm as happy about that now, to be honest with you.
Yeah, not much happening for United, but still, it's all go for Chelsea. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they can get a couple more deals done. And then Paddy will be looking at the up and coming fixtures for the Prem this weekend. So Paddy, we're going to jump straight into it. And we're going to go to the first thing, which is the football review. Right, Paddy, you can see it on the screen. I was wrong. I put out a video saying that United were 100% not going to win this match. I have to swallow my pride in this one. And unfortunately, they did win. 3-0. Talk to me. One foot into the final.
I did feel, though, when you say that, you're trying to work your dark arts, trying to get the universe to reverse what you're saying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know your game. Yeah, good. Jesus, I'm getting mixed up now between Reading is the one where Casemiro scored 2 goals. So this one, Rashford, good start. So many goals and so many good results.
I was just say, it would be nice to have so many goals get mixed up by Chelsea. Don't have fucking any, all right? So fuck off.
I think when I was talking on the pod last week, you and Connor actually convinced me that United were going to win this, because obviously it would make more sense for them to put out a strong team, get the win, so they could rest a few players down for the second leg. And it just so happens that you were spot on the ball. We put a full strength squad out. It was a fairly handy result. And we moved on to the FA Cup then. There's no real massive talking points. There was more talking points probably for the FA Cup game more than this one. We will talk about the second leg coming up soon, but I think it's a formality now at this stage.
Yeah, and I think just when we had put it down and when you were kind of listening to us when we were saying it last week, it did make more sense that he would put out a strengthened team against Forest, didn't it? Like that, it's a better chance of winning a cup, getting into a final. Like, so why not? Why play a weakened team? Like,
I was 2 legs for this is fucking ridiculous.
It's fucking stupid. It's absolutely. I think it defines it defeats the purpose of it being a cup. Having 2 legs in the semi-final. Play it like I can even understand the fact they do it in Wembley and stuff like that. I don't mind that. Like, to be honest with you, I think the only match that should be in Wembley is the final. So I don't think I know we're obviously doing semi-finals here at home and away, but I think semi-final, look at a draw. You get your home draw, then that's the beauty of the cup. If you're Forest and you get a home draw against Manchester United and it's 1 game, anything can happen in 1 game. Over 2 legs, you kind of have a bit more. There's a bit more class has to show through, and obviously United are going to have far more class than Forest. So I think it takes away a bit of the beauty of the FA Cup or the EFL Cup, I suppose we're going to call it.
It does. And it's like, it doesn't have much weight as it is really as a cup. I think most of the teams see it as more of a hindrance than anything else. I think a team like United now, obviously not having won a trophy in 6-7 years, will look at that as a stepping stone, something to work on, something to build on. But I can't imagine the likes of the Cities would really, even though they've won it a lot of times, I think it's just a formality for them now. It's small fish, and to have that extra game on top of your Europa League, FA Cup, Premier League, it's just it's not needed.
Yeah, it's too much. Right, Paddy, we'll move on from that one. Not much to talk about. It was fairly straightforward, and then on to the next one, which was Reading and Manchester United, a 3-1 win for United. Talk to me about this one.
I think the main talking point for me as a United fan would have been the Andy Carroll tackle on Eriksen. And then obviously his other tackles to get him the red card in the end.
You mean the Nunes tackles, don't you?
Yeah, it's Nunes. Yeah, switch up Nunes in disguise, and it was still a better performance than what Nunes usually gives for Liverpool. And even got set off, fucking shocking, heard him. But good match, Casemiro. we were just saying how much we missed him there. I think if we had had him there for the Arsenal game, could have been a different result. Because he's just so experienced in, game management. I'm just glad I'd rather obviously see Eriksen out than Casemiro, because I think Bruno can go back into Eriksen's spot.
Bit deeper, yeah.
Yeah. And they can use then somebody else up for him on the forward positions. But yeah, another successful outing. I think we have Derby in the next round, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I
but
think so,
another good result. Rashford on the score sheet again. Was he? No, he wasn't. Actually, I don't think. No, he wasn't, because he got taken off after 7. He would have been the first player in United's history to score in 11 consecutive games in Old Trafford, but he didn't actually get the goal, so that was disappointing for him. So
what a letdown! What a loser!
Shit, isn't he? Just sell him. Fucking sell him.
Absolutely shit.
We have the Austrian sausage now. We don't need him.
Yeah. Going back to the Eriksen injury, how big of a loss do you think that is actually going to be? I know, like you're saying, that Bruno can kind of cover that, but you kind of lose a bit from Bruno going forward then a bit, don't you?
I do. I think it's a massive loss. I think he's so composed on the football. He's not like, I suppose, like Fernandes wants to get forward a lot, and even though you do see Eriksen getting forward an awful lot, he's just such a calm and influence. He reminds me of when Michael Carrick played for United. Not the superstar of the team, but he just controls everything, and he enables all the other players around him to play the game that they want to play. So yeah, it'll be a big miss, big miss.
Just a comment in there from Dave McGuire. Liverpool making a deadline signing today. 2 Japanese players, Nika Momo and fucking no one. I like that. That's a good one. Right, Paddy. I suppose we'll move on to this week's episode. May not be too long, so we're kind of going well here. So, Man City and Arsenal. Paddy, I put up a video, and yet again, a lot of triggered Arsenal fans. They're so butthurt when you tell them that they're not going to win the league, and they just, Jesus Christ, like all I ever get back is, follow your own league, you're a foreigner and all, and
what's funny, Colly? If you listen to the Arsenal fans only a season and a half ago, they were the biggest critics of the club.
Yeah, 100%.
They would have said much worse than anything you could say.
Yeah, exactly.
And now we're winning a few games.
And it's quite embarrassing because we all see the highlights of that Arsenal TV, and we all see the absolute ridiculous carry on that goes on with them. Like it's embarrassing at times. I could say now they're probably a little bit happier, but to be honest with you, come the end of the season, they won't be. This was probably their best chance of winning the trophy, if I'm being honest. I don't see them winning anything else. I still think Man City are going to win the league. I think it's
massive that they still have to play City twice, and I think City will beat them twice.
Yeah, and they can look at how many points they are ahead. That boils down to nothing when you still have to play Man City twice. You're going to have to come up against the likes of Chelsea and Tottenham as well, who are massive derbies. Chelsea never want to lose against Arsenal, and Spurs will be the same. So they're not easy matches. And then you're probably going to have to play Liverpool as well. So they're all big matches. And did they have to play United as well?
No, we've played them twice now.
So look, I still think Arsenal are gonna do an Arsenal, and they're gonna blow it. Now they'll get top 4, and everybody that comments on the videos that I put up say top 4 was the aim, and that else is a bonus. Fair enough, I respect it, but when you're in the position that you're in now, I think it's a little bit of a cop out, and go for it.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying they won't get better next season, but they'll never have an opportunity like they do now to win the league with this much of a points gap against Man City.
Yeah,
because other teams are going to come back stronger. You can guarantee with the amount of players Chelsea are signing, they're going to be back really strong next season.
Yeah.
Tottenham, I don't know. Well, maybe not Tottenham, but Liverpool will be stronger. Maybe, actually, to be honest, I'm not even too sure about Liverpool. I think
it depends how they invest, isn't it, over the summer? Like that all depends on what they're willing to spend.
And
if they do it right.
I think they had this, how would you say, a lot of luck with the group of players that they got together, because he's been trying to replace those players, and he's doing an absolute terrible job. Like if you look at the forward line now, nobody's afraid of the Liverpool forward line. But like if you look at last season, they would have won the game before they walked onto the pitch.
Yeah. I think I said it last week. I don't know if I was saying it to Connor. I'm not as frightened anymore when I'm watching Liverpool going forward, because I just feel like Salah has lost a little bit. I think on the weekend there, against Brighton. He was 1-on-1 with the keeper, and he always makes that little kind of yard or two run to the left and puts it far corner. But like he was scuffing them, like, and he had an absolute sitter and he missed it. And I just don't see his confidence there anymore. It's not what it used to be.
No.
And then you have fucking Andy Carroll running through 1-on-1. You can bet your bottom dollar it's gonna hit the fucking corner flag before it hits the back of the net. Like, you know, he's probably the worst finisher I've ever seen in my life. Like, and I'd stand by that. Like, he's absolutely shocking.
But then you can't say that like they're keeping clean sheets and they're just not scoring. Their defense is shocking as well.
Shocking.
Their midfield, like they need
Yeah.
strengthening all over the pitch.
Yeah, big time. I just think,
how does that happen after nearly winning the quadruple last year? Mane
Exactly.
was the glue for Liverpool. Yeah, he's right. So we got a comment in there actually. Sorry,
pull it up there.
So Mane was the glue for Liverpool. Salah wallet weighed him down 400k a week to be shy. And yeah, you're not wrong there. He got his pay packet, and I suppose the eagerness to perform now has it waned a little bit after they lost everything last season. He lost his donkey, which was Mane last season, and Fabinho, the trio of them together.
He lost that donkey and got another one. He got an absolute donkey up top.
An absolute donkey, yeah.
But the other thing is, Paddy, we seen the same thing that David's highlighting there with Aubameyang. Do you remember with Arsenal, he was on form, got his big massive pay deal, all of a sudden foot off the gas, didn't give a bollocks, ends up going abroad, doesn't give a shite. Like, so I don't think we're gonna get anywhere near as much as we're gonna get, or we've been seeing from Salah this season or next season. I think he's done, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think the only way you'll see the best form from Salah is if he moves to a Real Madrid or something like that, or
Barca or something like. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, I think overall, summing that up, Arsenal gonna blow it. Man City. The problem I have now is I haven't been that impressed with Man City, but I still feel like they've got another 2 or 3 gears to go up into, where I don't think Arsenal have any more to go. Like, I think they're peaking at the moment. Like, so that's why I'm kind of saying I think City are going to win the league. I think there's going to be a lot of points dropped, and I think Manchester United, may actually get a lot closer than we think. I think they might start edging themselves into a battle here. Like,
I just don't like the way this transfer window has went in terms of all the teams around us have invested well. I'm not really worried about Chelsea are too far behind now. They will come better. They will get closer. But I mean, even Arsenal, not about Newcastle. No, they didn't do that much, but they were very, very steady as it was. And I don't think there's any pressure on them really. If they get anywhere close to top 4, that's even if they've dropped out of top 4 and they got 5th or 6th.
Good for them.
That's an amazing season for Newcastle, considering where they were only 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
right. Well, look, we'll move on from that one because well, I mean, only time will tell with the likes of Arsenal and stuff like that. So and Man City. Next one, Paddy. This will bring a smile to both our faces, and there's a noticeable absence again for Mr. Connor Little, who has somehow managed to have plans this week. Ironically, after getting spanked again by Brighton, after only getting beaten 3-0 by them last 2 weeks ago, and I believe he wasn't on the podcast after that as well.
No. He's missed a lot this year, actually, now, hasn't he?
He has missed a lot, yeah, and it's a bit of a coincidence, I think, that Liverpool are shy.
Yeah.
I don't know, a bit of a coincidence. Paddy, looking at this result, right? I know I'm going to bring this back to Chelsea because I'm not getting to talk about Chelsea and results and stuff. Does this show that Brighton are just as good without Potter than they are with him?
You could also say that Potter built something that's really stable there.
Yeah.
That'd be the way I'd look at it now, because for a manager to go into a team that wasn't struggling beforehand, you'd more than likely see a dip in form. But no, he seems to have left a good ship there, with a good group of players that continue to perform even for the next manager, when they very easily could have down the till said, our boss is gone. So it's, I don't know. Again, but I still think Chelsea's too big a job for him right now.
I do think that myself. And look, I said it there last week or the week before that I'm trying to be optimistic about Chelsea now again, and I'm just trying to accept the fact that he is the manager, and I'm trying to get behind them. I just need to see the results coming in. Like, you know what I mean? It got to the stage where I'm just bored of watching Chelsea, and I wasn't even excited about it, and that's not what I want to be. I don't want to be that fan. I want to be someone who enjoys and looks forward to watching Chelsea every week. So that's why I'm kind of like, right, fuck it, I have to get behind him now. That's the only thing I can do. Like,
I remember doing that so many times over the last 10 years. You know, just come on, we have to support our manager. And every other fan and every other club of every other club will be saying, you guys are a joke, you know, your manager's shit and all. But you're like, no, I have to support them. It's painful. It's painful.
Yeah, I think it'll be a long, painful journey, but sure, look, we'll see how it goes. Liverpool, Paddy, we've touched on them already. Like, you kind of touched on the fact that they've let the squad standard slip. Like, I know we always grill Connor about this, but the Klopp situation, like, and I bring it up, and it's such a touchy subject for Liverpool fans. Everyone's like, oh, he's the best. What can he do? What can he do? Like, he's let that squad get into that position. And I know that everyone will come out and say, if he's not getting the money, how can he build a squad? But he has got money. He's got loads of money. He's after buying fucking Diaz. Now, let's be fair, Diaz, good signing. But he's also bought that fucking donkey up top, and he's after buying your man Gikpu, who was also fucking not really lighting the world on fire. So there has been opportunities that he has money in his hand, but he's never strengthened the midfield. Now, we bought Thiago, 2 or 3 seasons ago, and he's been injured for like 80% of the time. And we all know Thiago's a good midfielder. But like, buy another one, because you have Henderson, who's aging and he's not the player he used to be. You have Milner there, who's 39 or something like that, something ridiculous age. You have Fabinho, who's losing legs as far as I can see. I'm not seeing much from him. So like, they need to strengthen the midfield, and they're not doing it. And I can only put that down to Klopp. Can you see any other reason other than Klopp there?
Klopp is a coach, a good coach. Manager, I would have serious reservations about, and this is because Liverpool, when FSG came in, they got this whiz kid of a fucking football director in, who organised a lot of their transfers over the last, say, 8 to 10 years, and he left over the last couple of seasons. He left like last season, I think it was.
Yeah.
Their signings have been poor. The way he works the players, and so either rehabilitation or recovery after the games, is obviously bad, because the amount of injuries they're getting to their players is shocking. And we talked about this a couple of seasons ago, I think, when Water used to be on it, and he was a physio. The players are just dropping like flies. And is he overworking them? In terms of, because they do run probably more than any other team in the league. But if you are doing that, you need a big enough squad to be able to rotate.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where it all boils down to, I think, was their squad depth for me was never like when they won the league, they had an unbelievable starting 11, and maybe 1 or 2 players that could come on and do a bit.
Yeah.
But like, that was it. There was no like being able to rotate any of these big players. And then we saw the kind of the beginning of the crumble when Van Dijk got injured. And that was the kind of the first crack in the seam where, okay, we have a massive injury here. What are we going to do now? And Alisson then starts stepping up. But ever since that now, like, Van Dijk doesn't look like half the player that he is, that he used to be. And Alisson's making mistakes all over the place. So, like, they can't just say, and even like the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's been found out so many times. And I seen a clip of him there probably 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, where he's walking back into the position, like, and the other team are literally in the 18-yard box, and he's walking outside. Yeah. It's just unforgivable for something like that. Like,
and let's look at what he's actually won.
Yeah.
How long is he there? 7 years? 7 years.
7 years. Yeah.
But look, he's done well. We're not going to lie. Like, he's won the major trophies. But the way Liverpool fans go on, and they're so loyal to him, you'd think he had.
You think he won 4 years in a row?
Like that. You know, I think he was one of the best managers in history that won like 4 or 5 European Cups, a couple of Premier Leagues, and dominated the English league for a decade. And he hasn't. And I don't know any other club any of the top clubs in the Premier League that wouldn't be thinking about letting them go after this season, because this season is an absolute joke for that club. Like, I remember the Liverpool supporters at the start of the season laughing at United losing against Brighton and Brentford, and they've lost just as poorly. But Klopp is the main man. That's
what I mean. Like in their eyes, Klopp can do no wrong. But like, at what stage do you start saying, okay, Klopp's he's not performing to the level that he needs to perform at. He's not getting the best out of these players. And and the worst thing about it is the excuses and the pissing and the moaning. And he used to be such a likable guy. And like, I used to love watching his interviews, and I used to be excited to see Klopp. And I used to love watching the passion on the sideline. Now I feel like when he's doing it, it's kind of put on, and it's like even in his interviews, he's like the pathetic excuses, like the grass is too long, and it's the stuff you'd say to your mates in the pub on a Sunday after getting beaten fucking 4-0 by some fucking shy team, some ragball rover team, and you come in, you say the fucking length of the grass, I couldn't even run in the grass, but like the other team are well able to run in the grass. Do you know what I mean? Like you just came up with an excuse, whatever kind of fit your own little. Whatever made you happy, nearly.
Yeah, and then all the fans giving it about, or even Klopp himself whinging about, we haven't got money, we haven't got the money of the rest of them.
Yeah.
But they've still bought like 200 or 300 millions worth of players over the last couple of seasons. Yeah, so you can't keep going back to that.
No, I don't buy it, and I won't buy it, and I will keep putting it out there that Klopp is not doing what he should be doing, they'll say, oh, injuries, and they'll have every excuse under the sun, but the end of the day, it's easier to get rid of one manager than it is to fucking buy 16 players. And
if Klopp had a fully fit squad, they still couldn't perform nearly as well as say Liverpool 2 years ago, and they wouldn't be.
No, nowhere near it. No. They wouldn't be even challenging for top 4 this season. I don't think they're getting anywhere near it, and that's just the way it is. And it's just a sad reality. Chelsea are in the same boat, but at least Chelsea are signing players and look like they have a bit of potential. Liverpool are where we are, but they're not doing nothing about it. And
exactly, and you can just see the slide going further and further and further. Yeah,
100%. Right, Paddy, that was great, wasn't it? It's good times. That's brilliant. Like, you know, I love that. Like, they're in the shit with me, and I can't take any abuse out of Liverpool fans because they're just there with me, and I'm just fucking shaking their hand, standing beside them, and then I'm gonna be going, see you later, and I'm gonna go up there and stay there. Right, Paddy, we're jumping off that one, and we're going to jump on to some transfer news. So we're going to move on to the news of the week, Paddy. Right, Paddy, there's just a few transfers that we'll talk about. I'll start off with Chelsea, I suppose, because they've probably been some of the most active teams in the league, obviously. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. I had a burger before I came on, and it just keeps repeating on you. But I gave it a rating. It was an 8.7 burger. It was a very good. It was a very good burger. Very good. So
was
Chelsea.
It
what
was it 40?
Yeah. Right, Paddy. Chelsea outgoings. We saw Jorginho leaving Chelsea. He's been there for 5 years. He's pretty much won everything except for, I think, an FA Cup and Premier League, so not a lot really. But no, he's been a good servant for Chelsea, and he's gone to Arsenal. Now, Paddy, this for me is a weird one because Jorginho can dictate the pace of a game, and this just makes so much sense for Arsenal to sign him. He had 6 months left in his contract. They got him for 12 million. Now, he can now come onto the pitch if he doesn't start in the last 60 minutes or last 30 minutes or so, get that ball down and start just controlling the pace of the game when they're winning. It just makes so much sense, and it's a brilliant signing, and it's the only way. But he's not gonna set the world alight, but he will control the pace of a game. He'll be very kind of steady on the ball. He's not afraid to come deep to the keeper and take it, move it left and right. So I think great signing for Arsenal. What do you think yourself on that one? Do you think it's a weird one, or do you think it's a good one?
Great signing. Great signing for Arsenal. Like, he didn't do much wrong for Chelsea. He's been a consistent starter for Chelsea for years. Yeah. Even when Tuchel was there, and Tuchel is not a bad manager, and he wouldn't be playing a poor player. You know, considering what he's won in the game and what he's achieved in the game. I think Arsenal have got a coup there. Like a London club to a London club. I can't believe the Chelsea fans aren't throwing up a bit more stink, and it's only 25 million.
12 million. So it's even cheaper than that.
And he's only 40.
12 million. An absolute bargain in today's
market. What we signed Casemiro for.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Now, I wouldn't put Jorginho on anywhere near the same level, but in terms of him being able to kind of control that game and get the ball and pass it around, he's not far off. Like, right. So that's Jorginho. Paddy, we have to kind of look at this fucking Enzo Fernandez deal. Chelsea trying to sign him from Benfica. Now the release fee is something like 100 and I think it's 120 million or something like that.
Give us a bit of a player profile there. Where does he play?
Centre mid, but I'll tell you what the player profile is of him, right? He got the young player of the tournament in the World Cup, and that's all I know. And I'm not being funny. And anybody that tells you they knew more about him before the World Cup, you're lying, because there's no way you even heard of him before the World Cup. And that's just a fact. That's an absolute fact. He seems like a decent player. I can't judge him too much. I've seen him play the odd game for Benfica. I'm not going to lie and say I seen him play outstanding football. I didn't. He never stood out. But like 120 million, that's the release cost. So what's happened now, right? So where we are, it's 8:27 p.m. and the deadline closes at 11 p.m. Chelsea said they will meet the release fee, and they said they will only do it if they can do it over 5 years for 6 payments. Benfica have come back and said, no, that's too long. We want it over 2 years with 3 payments. So then Chelsea have come back and said, okay, we'll do it over 2 years, but if we're doing it over 2 years, we're paying you a much less initial fee, and we can build the rest of it up through add-ons and bonuses and stuff like that. So that was literally the last thing that's happened. That bid from that counter bid from Chelsea went in at about 6:15 this evening, and nothing has been heard since. So there's a bit of radio silence on that one at the moment. So there is rumors that he's actually already done his medical. So the medical apparently is already done, which is a good sign. I don't know how true it is, but that's where we're at with Chelsea. With Jorginho gone, it just looked like they're going to do whatever it takes. And I don't know if Benfica stand strong on this. I think they may be able to push Chelsea to give them what they want. Now, Chelsea will probably run into financial fair play rules if they do end up giving them what they want. So I don't know how it's going to play out. It's an interesting one to kind of keep an eye on. Paddy, do you think, given what I've just told you there, that the only thing I know about him is that he's a young player this tournament for Argentina, like 120 million is just gone a joke at this stage?
Like when I look at a signing like that, you just think, because he hasn't worked under the manager or anything like that before. Like what's his reason for leaving and wanting to come to Chelsea right now at this time? The only thing you could say is, I suppose, it's being sold to him as in, like, this is a rebuilding job. He's bought so many new players. He's part of a team that will be looking to dominate Europe for the next 10 years, because he's bought a lot of young potentially world-class players. So it could be a great sign. And I'm not going to sit here, to be honest with you, and say, oh no, it's terrible, 120 million, because we spent 80 million on Anthony. And again, because of the way the market is nowadays, sometimes you have to gamble. And it's like, when you invest in a stock or a share, sometimes you go in, you give your money, and you're just hoping that it pays off.
Yeah, and that's all you can do most of the time, isn't it? Right, we'll move off that, Paddy. It'll be interesting to see. We'll obviously have an answer next week on the podcast whether we've got him or not. But there's a couple of other transfers that are going around, and one that really caught my eye and it was very surprising was João Cancelo leaving Manchester City and going to Bayern Munich.
Crazy.
On loan. Apparently, there was a bust up on the training ground because he was moaning about not playing enough minutes. But Paddy, Jesus Christ, if you're Pep Guardiola, like, how can you let someone that produces that much go?
He was in everybody's fantasy football team. That's how good he was.
He's one of the highest scoring defenders. I think he was the highest scoring defender last year. And then I think the season before, and he was like the second or third highest scoring defender. Yeah. So like the amount of like assists and just killer passes that he kind of creates, the amount of chances he creates overall is unbelievable. And even defensively, he's always very solid. Like,
Pep seems to have no problem with letting players leave, no matter who they are. Like you've seen it with Zinchenko, is it, that plays now for Arsenal? They're seeing for it's a weird one. Yeah, there's no player that if you're unhappy, get out. I'll replace you in a heartbeat.
And
But
there
they haven't
always
really
seems to be
replaced
a
him.
replacement. I
Huh?
don't know. I don't know exactly who. Like they haven't brought anyone in.
Ake was kind of taking his place.
Ake is there, and I really rate Ake. Chelsea were rumored to re-sign Ake. Chelsea used to own Ake and sold them, but they were rumored to be re-signing him. I think at the start of the season, and I was saying to myself, you know what? I'd actually love to have him back. He's matured so much. Selling him was a massive mistake. I don't know what manager it was that done it. I don't know whether it was Lampard or else. Who else would it have been? Couldn't be
Chelsea's
Mourinho.
turnover of players is just crazy, though.
Oh, it's crazy when you think when you look at the players we've sold compared to what they've turned into. A lot of them, like if you put out all the players together, you'd be challenging for the league title. Like Salah alone, Kevin De Bruyne, Cuadrado, and all. It's just it's mad. But yeah, I just think it's a crazy signing or a crazy sell to Barcelona or to Bayern Munich, and there's an option to buy at the end of it for 61 million. So the only thing is, at least 61 million, it's a good chunk, like. So at least they will get a good.
Although, what age is he? Do you know what age is?
Oh, is he 28?
That 61 million for him is a steal.
Yeah, I think
today's
so.
market, like, it really is.
Yeah.
I'd take him all day long.
Fucking right. Right, Paddy. So that was one of them. Another one that caught my eye, and it's more relevant to us because of obviously the Irish connection, but Matt Doherty going to Atletico Madrid. Now I don't know whether I don't know whether we're going from Tottenham. I don't know whether we're going to see like a similar type of thing with him and Trippier to see if like that can maybe give him this new revived career. I mean, he was doing pretty well at Spurs anyway. Like he was in and out of the team. It was a bit of rotation from Antonio Conte, but he was doing that anyway. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on over in Spain and what kind of Diego Simeone saw on him. Like it's a bit of a strange one, that one.
Simeone leaving this year as well.
Yeah.
It's a strange one. Very, very strange one.
Yeah. Paddy, is there any transfers that stood out for you? Just one to fill a gap while you're thinking is Ziyech apparently could be on his way out to PSG for Chelsea.
Oh.
I personally wouldn't like to see that happening, but it's apparently very likely. But not one I would like to see.
No.
Anything?
Yeah, I was
else
looking at this one now for United. It looks like it's going to be going through for Marcel Sabitzer. Now supposedly Chelsea were inquiring about him as well, just in case their deal for Fernandes had fell through.
Yeah.
How true that is, I don't know. I don't know much about the player, so I'm not going to say anything about him. I could get a YouTube reel up now, probably for me, and it'd probably look good. So I wouldn't like to say anything about him. But it's a panic buy in terms of the Eriksen injury has now left him short in centre midfield, because I think you've seen against Arsenal when we put McTominay in there, we were half the squad we usually are. Now, whether this fella is an upgrade from McTominay, I do not know. He has played midfield, central midfield, or defensive midfield, attacking midfield, winger and striker. And that kind of makes me believe then he's never been able to cement his position anywhere in the team. A bit of a journeyman, and I just think this is all to do with United selling the club and not willing to invest any more money.
Yeah, but he's a bit of a modern day John O'Shea, maybe.
Is it Mark? Yeah, is it Mark Goldbridge, the United fella that talks all the time? It is, yeah. And he gave a good analogy that I suppose if you're selling your house, you don't have a shit just before somebody comes in to view it. You put some nice smelling. You invest, you speculate to accumulate. I think is the phrase that was used, and it's true. Yeah, like if they had went out, spent big on a midfielder now, you could have added an extra $500 million to the price.
Yeah, definitely. Paddy, a weird one that came up here was La Liga rejects the registration of Marcos Alonso, his contract at Barcelona, because it'll take them over their salary cap. That's just, to me, that's just mind-boggling that they can still be in that situation.
Yeah,
Barcelona. How many years are we now looking at Barcelona trying to get their salary cap down, trying to sell players, trying to offload players? How has it become this bad over in Barcelona? Like, what is going on over there?
Yeah. And then you look at the likes of Juventus getting deducted 12 points.
Yeah.
They must be looking at Barcelona kind of going, hold on a minute, who are they line. Who's back pocket today lining to be getting away with this all the time?
But look, you look at Chelsea and like what they're doing is incredible. And look, I have to say hats off to fucking Todd Bowley. He's found a loophole and it's working because no one has stepped in and no one has said that. Now they are talking about rewriting the rules after this transfer window closes and stopping that. But like, is this going to have repercussions in 3 years' time when Chelsea probably won't be able to spend as much because you'll have all the added kind of transfer fees from the signings we've just made in that year? So we'll have to pay a yearly repayment on each one. So they're all going to add up. Do you know what I mean? So you're kind of you're nearly bringing your budget down every year because of them installments.
And are you sure all these signings weren't allowed to be made because of the sale of the club? And like if you say rebrand the stadium and you get an investment of 200 million, you can go and spend that 200 million. So the club has been bought for so much. Part of that deal was that a certain amount of money had to be reinvested in the club. So maybe because of the way the contract was signed, it gave them freedom to sign who they wanted for one transfer window or two transfer windows.
The only thing is I don't know whether FIFA would have been involved in that deal. So like FIFA probably wouldn't have had any say about like what they do with the money. Basically, like that this is like it's a completely separate thing where I'm taking over a club from you and it's just me and you. We're the ones that negotiate it. Now obviously
the way solicitors can work on anyway.
And like obviously with Chelsea taking over and Todd Bowley taking over Chelsea, it was written into the contract, I think, that he would invest 1.2 billion in the club. Now, whether that was going to be on transfers, it looks like it's all going on transfers. But whether that was in transfers or stadium upgrades or stuff like that, he was saying he was going to do a lot of work around Cobham, which is the training ground. So all of that is, and Paddy, I think I said it when he took over. I said, right, it's all well and good. I remember saying it. It's all well and good talking about signing all these players. We haven't signed one player yet. And now look at us. We signed 14 players or something ridiculous. So like I'm kind of like now I'm like, oh okay, maybe he kind of
look. I'll be honest with you. All the other fans and clubs saying, "Oh, it's a disgrace," or the fans saying, "Oh, you are shite," blah blah blah. If that was my club, I'd be delighted. I'd be fucking rubbing my hands. It's such an exciting time because look, this season's a write-off. Just write this season off. That's fine. But next season, you will be fucking really good, I'd say. Really,
like depending on how we finish this season, like if it's a bad finish, there may be questions asked of Potter. But if he finishes strong and we get fifth or like challenge for the top four, now we're 10 points off top four at the moment. It's not a massive thing to try come back from. Like, it's been done, I'd say.
Do you see any of the top four dropping 10 points and you's not dropping any?
No, like,
and that's the thing.
That's the problem is that we probably won't catch up as much and as quickly as we'd like to catch up. Like we might eventually claw a couple of points back over a couple of weeks, but I just think it probably is too big of a gap to be saying we're going to get top four. I did do a video on TikTok and I said Chelsea are 100% getting top four. I deleted it. I didn't post it. I probably will do it after this, to be honest with you, and put it out there just for the crack. But look, it's all shits and giggles there. I genuinely probably don't think that Chelsea are going to get top four. Paddy, I don't really have much else going on in terms of transfers that has caught my eye yet anyway.
Yeah, no, that's it really. I think I'm fairly depressing transfer window, but good time to be a United supporter either way, so it's not too bad because we have the best manager in the world.
Fuck's sake. Right, Paddy, we're jumping off that and we're going to jump on to the weekend predictions. Right, first match is Chelsea versus Fulham, Friday night, Paddy. What a way to start my weekend if Chelsea can win this one. And to be fair, I do think they will win this one, and I think they'll win it comfortably. I'm going to go with a 3-0 win for Chelsea. I have a feeling we're going to start creating a lot more chances, and we're going to start looking a bit more threatening now. Chris Benoit at the back for Chelsea looks really solid, so I'm fancying Chelsea to keep a clean sheet here. Him and Thiago seem to play very well together, and if they can just stop people shooting on Kepa, that'd be great. So I'm going to go 3-0 to Chelsea, and I'm going to say I'm gonna say the new signing Mudryk to score because
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah, it looks
What do you think?
really good. He's in my fantasy preview.
I was
Quick
gonna bring
preview.
him in. I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna bring him in. He's only 7 million.
Think he's going to
I
do
just
some
don't know whether
magic.
he's gonna start.
You don't know whether he's going to start?
Don't know.
After
doesn't
that
really.
performance against Liverpool, I think he has to.
Doesn't he? Yeah.
He has to. Yeah, he has to.
How do you see this one going on you?
Yeah, Chelsea win. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Chelsea win, and I'll go for Mud Boy. What's his name?
Mud Boy. Muddy. We'll call him Muddy. Okay, yeah. So Chelsea wins all around. Paddy, the next one is Manchester United and Crystal Palace. How do you see this one going for you?
I think we'll beat them because I think we'll feel like we owe them one after the draw a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So then we've got a double. We've actually got a double fixtures.
Sorry,
we've got 3 fixtures now in the next.
Sorry,
week,
I should have
9 days.
Fucking United Forest one first. Talk about the United Forest one first, just so we can go in kind of order. So tomorrow night, United and Forest.
There'll be a weakened squad to just get through, and I'll go for 1-0 to United, but I think it very well could be 1-1 all or 1-0 to Forest even. I think it'll be a tight game because it'll be a depleted squad for United. Yeah. But just a narrow either way. I'll go for 1-0 United win, and I'll go for the Austrian sausage to score.
Yeah, I actually think the same. 1-0 to United on this one, and I think that Fernandes will score. Sorry, I'm back onto United and Palace here.
Yeah, I see again full strength squad, and yeah, fairly convincing win. I'm going to say 3-0, and I'm going to say Fernandes to score.
All right, I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for United here. I think they should beat Palace. And I'm going to say, who am I going to say? I'm going to go with a Martinez goal. Don't think he scores many, but I think he's going to score in this game. We'll go for that one. Fuck it, why not? Next one, Paddy. And is this the last one? Yeah, this is the last one of the.
United have Leeds then as part of this game week as well.
All right. Well, what day is that on?
I think it's on next Monday or Tuesday. I'll have to check. It is on Wednesday, next Wednesday. But it's still this game week.
Well, we can talk about that. We can. Yeah, we'll be back on the pod for Tuesday, so we'll talk about that one next Tuesday. Look at you trying to get in more United time. Look at you.
I was going to be my birthday that day as well, but sure I won't.
Paddy, the last game of the week is Wolves versus Liverpool. How do you see this one going for a depleted Liverpool team?
I think this could be the straw that breaks the camel's back in terms of not actually being sacked, but the fans starting to really question whether he's the right man for the job anymore, because I see Wolves getting a result against Liverpool here, and I'm going to say 2-0, and I'm going to go for what's that scumbag that used to play for Chelsea? Diego
Costa. How dare you?
Yeah, Diego
Costa. Dare you say something like that? That man is a god. Yeah. Paddy, do you know what? I think you're probably right. The brain would say 2-1 to Wolves, but you know what I'm going to say? Liverpool gonna handily win this one. It's going to be 3-0. There's going to be no bother for them winning this one. I'm going to say Salah will score 2 goals, and Darwin Núñez is going to score 1. It's going to be 3-0. And yeah,
you're dark at work again.
Yeah. 3-0 easy win for Liverpool. And yeah, I don't see any other result happening here. 100% confident in that. Stick our fucking house on it.
Nice.
Can't wait to clip that when they get destroyed. Right, Paddy, that is pretty much all we have time for this week. It's been an interesting pod because we've a lot of fucking transfers going on and stuff. Well, you don't, but Chelsea do. So yeah, that's it. We're going to wrap it up. Paddy,
thanks very much.
It's been a pleasure, as always.
As always, yeah. It's great.
We will be back next. Go on.
No, I was just going to tell all the people listening to please subscribe. Please. Again, because it's feed me and save me life. Please.
Paddy has kids to feed, all right? So will you just fucking hit the subscribe button, please? Fuck's sake. Yeah, no, if you are listening on Spotify or anything like that, get over to our YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, give us a follow, like, comment, all the stuff that helps us grow, because it just means that we'll do more. Paddy, we're going to wrap it up. We'll be back next Tuesday, 8 p.m. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Like, follow, comment, subscribe, rate us 5 stars if you're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And we will see everybody next week.